Welcome to Discussing Fitchburg Now. I am your host, Sam Squalia, and you're watching this show from the Fitchburg Access Television Studios. Thanks for joining us. We got a big, jam-packed show today. All right, in fact, we got a graphic up for you so you can see everything that's going to be happening on today's show, especially so I don't forget everybody. Okay, so we've got Chess Chat with George Mirijanian and Dave Couture. Then up next, we've got Just Policing with Edward Cronin. Then after that, we got the Rotary Day of Service with Alexander VERA and Paul Gauvin. And finally, to close the show, we've got the Lowe Park Chalk Art Festival with Shira Osgood and Beth Robbins. So you're going to have to want to make sure that you stick around through all the segments so you don't miss a thing, okay? So up first, I have the fantastic George Mirijanian and Dave Couture, hosts of Chess Chat, which is coming up in its 17th year here at FATV.
That is correct, Sam. And first of all, thank you for having
thank you.
Dave and me on your show.
I'm so glad we could make this cross-show collaboration happen.
Well, we're making our debut on your show, which is a great pleasure. And again, Chess Chat started on FATV in October 2006. Yeah. It started off as a 15-minute program, but evolved into a 30-minute program, which we've been doing ever since 2006.
It started at 15 minutes.
15 minutes. We packed a lot. When we started the program, we actually gave instruction. We were doing actually instruction of chess.
So, like, if you want to do a certain move, or here's a great opening move.
We actually taught how the pieces move, how the game is played. But then we evolved into presenting games of the rule of the games, the moves we presented, and it just took on. I mean, and players from around the world. I was getting feedback, email from players from Europe, from Hungary, Germany, Denmark, Finland, Sweden, because actually it was being picked up actually online. By players, chess players
all around the world.
Actually, it was available all to everybody in the world. Yeah.
I heard that Chess Chat is Fitchburg's own Chess Chat is one of the most watched chess shows on Access Television all across the world. In fact, FATV used to have a world map.
Yes.
And would have a pin in every country that watched one of our shows, and I think they're mostly Chess Chat.
Oh, really? You say, well, again, that's what I've been told. I've been told that
we'll run with that.
Yeah, we'll accept that.
Yeah. And then Dave Couture came on and started doing the co-hosting for Chess Chat.
Yeah, but Dave is actually one of the biggest assets the Watchers of Chess Club has. The Watchers of Chess Club, which is the second oldest chess club in Massachusetts.
Wow.
Wears many hats at the Watchers of Chess Club. And we meet at the Fitchburg State University, the McKay Complex, every Wednesday from 6:30 to 10:30 in rooms 142 and 143 of the McKay Complex.
142 and 143 every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m.
We start at 6:30 and we're done by 10:30.
And this is open really to any chess player from novice to experienced.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. We welcome all levels of play. Yeah.
And we have all levels from beginner to master, and from kids who are like 7 or 8,
yes,
up until guys in their 70s, I'd say.
Yeah, right, we do. And they're coming.
You're just 70?
Yeah, we have. Right, yeah. Now I happen to be the oldest one of the club, but being that as it may,
on the verge of 80.
Yeah, well,
we won't talk about that.
We won't talk about that.
We'll edit that out.
But I'm saying we're getting players, especially a number of young players, young Asian players, who are living in the greater Boston area, Lexington, Acton. They're coming from greater distances. They're coming from areas where they are closer to other chess clubs, but they prefer coming to the Watchers Chess Club in Fitchburg. And I've asked their parents. They come with their parents, and I asked their parents, I said, well, why would you come to the club in Fitchburg? And they say, you're friendlier. You're a more friendly club. Yeah.
Welcoming. That's the quintessential Fitchburg.
Yeah, no. And one thing that differentiates us from other clubs is that we love, actually, after a game is played, players like to actually review their games, go over the game, analyze it.
So when you do when you play the chess,
We play our
you
game.
write down the moves
Right.
Yes.
in a
Right.
notebook.
Right.
And then you could see then you can go over with someone who's more
Afterwards.
advanced with you where
Right.
you maybe went wrong.
That's how you learn.
Sure, yeah.
By reviewing the game, that's a learning process. Yeah.
Like, oh, when I move my pawn over here, oh no,
Yep.
that just opened me right up.
Exactly, yeah.
Now let me bring up something from your past, Sam.
My past?
Yes, because I first met you when you were like even pre-teeny bopper.
Yeah.
You were a youngster.
At the elementary school.
At Crocker Elementary School
Yeah.
in Fitchburg.
Yeah.
You played in those tournaments that the physical education teacher.
Was that the Wachusett Chess Club at that time?
No. It was, the Wachusett Chess was in existence. When you played actually. You were at Crocker Elementary School.
Yep, with Mr. Burke.
Mike Burke, who was the physical education teacher. You were playing in those tournaments that he held on Monday nights.
Oh yeah, we would do we had the stop clock.
And you played with chess clock.
And we had the little the notebook.
You had the note. You would
Yeah.
record. So I remember you, Sam, from way back. I mean, well, I shouldn't actually indicate
You
that.
remember
way
that
back.
my name was there.
Yeah, your name was there, and you got your
I
name in
look
the
very
paper.
similar, just much shorter.
And back then, the names of the kids who played in the Crocker Elementary School, but also the club, they used to have their names published in the Sentinel Enterprise newspaper. Results of those tournaments were published in the paper.
Cool.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
But the Washington Chess
I know
Club,
just enough about chess to be dangerous, George.
You are, yeah, I don't know. But you have a national rating. Remember, your viewers don't realize.
Oh, I have a handicap? Is that what you call it?
No.
rating.
You joined the United States Chess Federation because Mike Burke, who was running those tournaments,
He made it official.
made a requirement. You're going to join the U.S. Chess Federation, the official governing body for chess in the country, and you did that, Sam. Back then. Yeah.
You see, chess is a big deal in Fitchburg, and it lasts for generations.
Yeah, and we actually have, we are known as being the only club, the only chess club in Massachusetts that hosted Bobby Fischer. Now, a number of your
I
viewers,
heard about that.
Bobby Fischer, who became world champion in 1972. Who did he beat, Dave?
Boris Spassky.
Boris Spassky, 1972. But before he became world champion, Bobby Fischer came to Fitchburg, the only chess club he came to as part of his 1964 National Simultaneous Exhibition Tour. He gave a tour in '64.
The only club in Massachusetts.
The only club in Massachusetts, right?
Right.
Only club in Massachusetts, right?
Right.
He did actually a national tour, but he only picked Fitchburg. He didn't go to Boston. He didn't go to Worcester. He didn't go to Springfield that had clubs. He picked out Fitchburg, and we're very proud of the fact that he chose to come here.
This was before he won the championship?
This is before.
So
This is-
we might have had a role in that.
Absolutely.
All
Well,
right?
absolutely.
Right, yeah. And then in 1982, we had another world champion come to Fitchburg and perform an exhibition, simultaneous exhibition, and he was world champion. Tigran was his last name. Tigran's last name.
You say it. You're good
Well,
with names.
Most chess players pronounce his name as Petrosian, but it's Petrosyan. Tigran
Petrosyan.
He was world champion from 1963 to 1969, but he came to Fitchburg again, doing a simultaneous exhibition at the club, which at that time.
Did anyone beat him?
Yes, he did. He did lose. Yes, he did lose some games, and they were published in the
In the Sentinel Enterprise.
Once again, the Fitchburg Sentinel Enterprise. Remember, no, you can't remember because that paper, the Sentinel Enterprise,
Used to be the Sentinel
used to be the Fitchburg Sentinel.
and the Leominster Enterprise.
It merged.
Oh,
The
really? I
Leominster
didn't know that.
Enterprise and the Fitchburg Sentinel merged in the mid-1970s, I think.
Oh, okay.
Okay. There was a chess column that ran. Well, again, when I got out of the military, out of the Army, I wrote that column from early 1969 until October 2002 for 33, close to 34 years. And
That's dedication, George.
Yeah.
That's
Well, no.
that's why they like the Wachusett Chess Club.
Yeah.
Our dedication to the game of chess.
He's very dedicated.
yeah, and I'll tell you a funny
Is it a game?
story.
Did you say the game of chess?
Yeah, the game of
game?
chess. It's
The
a
game
game.
of
No, but it's, chess is not only a game. In fact, it's the most ingenious game ever. Dave and I would agree. It's the most ingenious game ever created.
Sure. Yeah.
But it is both. It's a sport. Now I get laughed at by a number of people who are into sports, who don't recognize chess as a sport. I recognize
It's a brain sport.
It is a brain sport, cerebral sport. It is recognized in many countries, especially in Europe and Asia, as an Olympic sport. Those countries that have Olympic committees, they recognize chess as.
We don't?
We don't. This country does not recognize chess as an Olympic event. Now, it's an interesting story. I'll tell you an interesting story. In 1924, they held the Olympics, the Olympics, regular Olympics in Paris, France, 1924. Chess players were invited to compete in that 1924 Olympics, and they competed. They were never invited back 4 years later for the next Olympics. You know why? Because,
Politics.
well, yes, politics played a role, but the main reason was the organizers of the Olympics said to the chess players, says, wait a minute, these Olympics are for amateurs. This is not actually for professional
But
sports.
if they're not getting paid.
But back then, no. But back then, you realize
they did get paid?
when you look at the origin of the Olympics, it's actually for amateur athletes, amateur sportsmen.
People that are getting paid.
Yes.
Right.
Non-professional.
When the Olympic people found out that chess players were professionals, they said, no, the end of chess players playing in the Olympics.
Okay.
Now, there is an attempt by the World Chess Federation to bring chess back into the Olympics. They're trying their darndest to get chess back in the Olympics. I don't know if they're going to succeed, but again, there are a lot of countries that recognize chess as a sport. It's a sport.
Yeah.
As you say, a mind sport, yeah.
Well, so this is the kind of conversation that you can expect to see on Chess Chat, which is, what does this air? The first Monday of the month?
Well, used to be the first Monday of the month. Now we're seen live on the second Monday of every month.
The second Monday of every month,
At 7
live at what time?
At 7 o'clock on public access, on FATV's public access channel.
So you can go to fatv.org to watch what the Chess Chat show,
Yeah.
second Monday of every month, live at 7 p.m. And you can go on demand and watch all the past episodes as well, right at fatv.org.
And what Dave and I want to promote for our next program, Chess Chat coming up, the World Chess Champion is being played right now as we speak.
Oh, the championship of
The World
chess.
Championship.
Yep.
We have a Russian versus a Chinese player who are playing for the World Championship. And why is that? Do we have a world champion who
The number one player decided not to play.
Yes.
He's basically won it so many times, he's having trouble getting motivated, he said.
So
Well, that's fair.
You've climbed Everest, X number of times. It's like
Let's let someone else
yeah.
go up.
yeah.
So we're going to report on that.
Ooh.
We will have actually an up-to-date report. We'll have the results. We'll have actually.
So you'll be able to talk about what moves that they made in the game.
We'll
That'll be
present.
interesting.
We're going to present.
You're going to review
Yes.
the
Yeah.
winning chess moves.
Dave and I are going to review a short game from that match. Yeah,
Fascinating.
yeah. And that will be very exclusive because the match just ends a few days before.
Right.
Yeah, so we'll be up to date. We'll actually an up-to-date program on Chess Chat on the World Championship. Yeah.
Very cool.
So we're looking forward to that. Yeah, we like to stay timely. Timely news, and that's what Dave and I do.
Yep.
And by the way, he is excellent when it comes out picking out games. Without him, I don't think I could function on Chess Chat because he does all the technical stuff.
That's not true.
Finds nice photos, video. He's able to find things that I cannot.
I know how to use a computer. So.
He is a computer genius. I'm a computer, moron because I really am limited as far as my computer use. He knows everything about computers. Yeah.
Sounds like you guys make a great team.
We are a great team.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So thanks for coming on and telling us about Chess Chat.
Thanks for having us.
All right. We'll have to check it out at fatv.org. Chess Chats, the second Monday of the month at 7 p.m. live. Or you can watch it on demand. All right.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you
very
Sam.
much.
All right, so we're going to take a short break, and then we'll be up next with Ed Cronin and talk about just policing.
I am George Mirijanian, director of the Wachusett Chess Club at Fitchburg State University. Welcome to another edition of Chess Chat.
A special thing in store. The light bulb inside my head says, get out and play. 'Cause you never feel this way. It's my lucky day. It's my lucky day. It's my lucky day.
C-Click Fix, Fitchburg's one-stop shop for helping resolve issues in our community. You can report anything from a missed trash pickup to potholes on city roads, illegal dumping to broken traffic lights. To report an issue, all you need to do is click New Request. Type in the location, select a category, and send in a photo if you have one. Your request goes straight to city officials so they can help resolve the issue. Making an account is free and easy. All you need is an email. Download the C-Click Fix app today to get your matters resolved.
Hi, Sam Squally here with Shara Osgood.
We got some.
And we got some double audio going.
Chalk Art Festival that's happening Saturday, May 13th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. That's right. It's going to be a wonderful day.
Okay. Hi, welcome back to Discussing Fitchburg Now. We are now up with Ed Cronin, who is the author of the new book, Just Policing. We have a picture of the book, Caitlin. Do you think we could pull that up on the main screen? Yeah, so Just Policing, this came out, what, like a year ago?
Less than that, probably last July.
Last July.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and this is co-authored with Dana Kendall.
Correct.
And why don't you tell us about why you wrote the book and what it's about.
Okay. Well, thank you very much first. I've been in policing off and on for the last 35 years, and I've had different experiences, not the normal progression of a lot of police officers who stay in their own city and which is a very honorable thing to do and retire from there. But I had worked in Fitchburg for a number of years.
You were a former police chief?
Right, but before that I worked all the way up to being like a detective sergeant. And I was working on my master's degree, and I had the opportunity as part of my courses to go to Oxford, England, to take a couple of courses over there.
Oh, interesting.
And that's in the early 90s, and I saw the British system. And I had never been out of the country and looked at other policing before, and I was very impressed with what was going on there, and especially in the area of gun violence. They didn't have it.
Yeah.
And
there's more knives.
well, yeah, but the overall homicide rate is dramatically different in Lower, whether it's killing police officers or people killing people. They just don't have the same, I'd say, culture that we have. And they don't have, I remember riding with a police officer, he didn't have a gun on. And I said to him, how do you do your job? And he says, well, we don't need it. It's not part of our culture.
The police officers in the United Kingdom don't carry guns?
No.
Generally?
No. And
Wow.
then I said to him, well, what happens if something really, really bad happens? And he says, well, we do have a car that's out there that does have guns in it if we need it. So it was an eye-opening thing for me about how they could do policing without being armed. So that was just one experience. And then while I was there, I met another guy by the name of Paul Makowski from Medford, who was a police officer. And the wall had just come down in Russia. And he had a desire to go to Russia because his family was from Eastern Europe originally. and he invited me to help him put together a program, and we brought the first group of like 30 American police officers to Russia back in the early 90s. And CBS came with us. We were on national television, and eventually in the fall, then a group of Russians came, the first Russians. We brought them to the FBI Academy. And then the US State Department found out what we were doing, and they wanted to sponsor the work that we were doing.
They liked it.
They liked it, and they coughed up the money. And we worked with a nonprofit called Project Harmony, whose new name now is PH International. Anyway, so I only bring that up because it was during that time period I was doing a lot of traveling and representing the country, basically. I was in television in Moscow. I mean, I was in the Kremlin. There's a certain amount of exposure and ability and critical thinking that develops with that. So I threw an application in to the city of Gardner to be a police chief. And I was only a sergeant at the time, and I put an application in. I got an interview. I had an interview. I thought it went okay. I went out. I got up and I said, "Thank you for letting me stretch myself professionally." You know, like, I didn't say it was fun, but that's how I felt. I went home and the phone rang and they offered me the job.
Aha!
And I was kind of like, you don't understand. I didn't really want this job, you know, but I took it. So I'm only going over this background stuff because I'm trying to get up to the point of why I wrote the book. And anyway, I ended up being up there for 3 years, and then I was hired as an international program director, doing a domestic violence program in countries of the former Soviet Union, Russia.
Where were you hired as an international program
Out of
director?
Vermont, PH, Project Harmony.
Project Harmony.
But I had programs and offices in Siberia, Moscow, St. Petersburg, Kiev, Tbilisi, Georgia, you name it. And we did programs over there. And I did that job full time for 3 years before I came back to Fitchburg. And when the job opened up, I put in for it, and then I became the police chief. And this is why I wrote the book. The experiences that I had when I was here in Fitchburg always stuck with me. And in particular, when I came here in 2002, I came back, Fitchburg had a higher murder rate per capita than the city of Boston.
Fitchburg in 2002?
Yeah. And they also had a dropout rate at the high school for minority students of over 40%. And it didn't take me long to realize that with all these kids falling out of school, where are they going to go? They're going to go into gangs. They're going to go into drugs. So
Not productive.
No, but
Probably not being productive.
But it makes you step back and think about, is this really a police problem? Yeah, all these crimes are happening, all the drugs are going, but why is it happening?
Right. Get to the root cause.
The root cause, which goes to the next
But
thing.
the policing is the reactionary solution.
Right,
Right.
right. And when you mention systems, okay, and I ended up doing some graduate work, postgraduate work, and I became familiar with what's called systems thinking. So at the time I was working here, there was a spectacular young Latino woman that was working as a contractor in the city named Syra Pinto. She's gone on, she lives out in the West Coast. She's got a PhD in her own place and organization now. But she came in and she was also what we call a systems thinker. And I had learned about this process of looking at problems through the Suffolk University, and this whole thing of systems thinking generates out of Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and it's a technology that they use first in business, but you can also use it in social environments. So we put together a task force here to look at why crime was occurring in the city. And we had 40 members of the community, ranging from the CEO of the hospital, college president, university president,
To members of neighborhoods.
police, social workers, probation, neighbors, and for the first time, minority members of the community.
For the first time.
For the first time. And we brought in 2 experts to train us all in identifying systems thinking and doing conversations as to why this was all occurring. And when it was done, they came out with 2 reasons. The first one was the presence of institutional racism.
Institutional racism. We hear that a lot nowadays,
Right,
but
but-
this is in 2004.
Right. And the thing about it, the first thing you have to say, and you realize, is that this is not a conscious thing.
Right.
This is things that
You grew up saying and
right,
thinking.
and you unintentionally exclude others who can't access the system the same way. And this Latino gentleman identified that. And then he also said the other one was lack of economic opportunity for at-risk kids. It's jobs. So one of the things that I took, when he announced this at the meeting, 2 or 3 people stood up and walked out and said they didn't want to talk about racism. And I stood up in my uniform as a white police chief and said, yeah, we are going to talk about it. So I decided to use,
So what you need is people in positions of power to stand up for the right thing.
and use your power and privilege the
Yeah,
right way
that's
by
right.
giving the power away. So we were able to do that. And we went into, first thing we did was I was seizing all kinds of properties, money, cash, cars, homes from
Drug things?
drug dealers. And as a police chief, I have the discretionary
To
say
keep it
on how to spend
or-
it.
oh,
Even the
okay.
city council and mayor can't tell the police chief in Massachusetts how to spend the money.
Even today?
Even today.
Really?
Right. That's a very unique law. And I would use it customarily for the things that everybody else did, enforcement. And instead, I took a big chunk of it and I put it into jobs for kids. And
Team
then,
programs.
yeah. And then the college threw in money. The colleges threw in money and other organizations threw in money. And after the first summer, we began to see a decrease in crime. And then what happened with that was I began to have a lot of focus groups with the minority community. I was out of my office a lot. I would sit down, listen to their stories, primarily a lot with the Latino mothers, who I found were very, very engaged in succeeding for their kids. And I began to listen to their stories. And I began to hear it differently. I began to hear, I guess I would call it the tragedy that they were living. And I, opened up a conversation with the community. And after that, Latino people started to get involved in the politics. Shortly thereafter, we had Mayor Wong, also a minority member.
She like 2007?
Yeah, right after I left. And so frankly, what happened, the political and the police leadership after I left endorsed the way we were moving. And then today, just so everybody knows, and they probably, maybe they've heard it, Fitchburg had 1 murder last year. And the dropout rate is below 8% now.
Yep.
So
I
Fitchburg, in my
I heard it was a high 80s.
high 80s,
I heard it was high, the retention rate.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. So from the time when I came here, back as a police chief till today, we've made phenomenal strides. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to write the book, because I tell the story of that in the book. And I think, when you very accurately said, we were talking about systemic racism 20 years ago,
Right.
right? And
Yeah, but that's how long kind of you have to introduce very difficult discussions and system changing.
right, and it doesn't happen overnight.
Yep.
And there's very much a feeling, even today, if you, in my opinion, you're watching politics and things today, everybody wants to go back to punishing everybody again. And
The pendulum swings.
yeah, but I look at policing like if I was a CEO of a business. If I had a business and I wasn't making money, I wouldn't be doing very good, because that would be my measure. If I am a police professional and I look at over 2 million people in this country incarcerated,
One of the highest incarceration rates in the world, right?
the highest.
The highest.
All right, with 335 million people, and China has 1.6 billion, and they have 1.6 million in jail, less than us.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm not, it's apple to oranges in a way, I understand that. But the point of it is systemically, we're failing.
Right.
And we need to have these conversations that you're talking about. There's no shortcuts, and we need to be patient and have time to put these things through. And in systems thinking, there's a mode that's called fixes that fail. And you can draw it out in a diagram. And when you go into the cycle of arrest, incarcerate, release, arrest, incarcerate, release, it doesn't work. All it does is proliferate. So the book has got stories in there about that. It's got stories in there about the work that I did overseas when I used systems thinking and how to work on police corruption and things of that nature. So.
And if you want to read, and if you want to learn more, you got to buy the book, Just Policing,
Thank you.
My Journey to Police Reform, written by Edward Cronin with Dana Kendall.
With Dana Kendall.
Thank you so much for coming on, Ed, and telling us a little bit more. We should have you come on more another time, and we can talk more in depth.
All right.
That'd be fabulous.
Thanks.
All right, so we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with our next guest.
Okay.
I remember when. Fitchburg was the smallest town in the area, but by 1835, it had grown to be the largest town. By 1840 and 50, most Fitchburg residents had become abolitionists. Another early industry in Fitchburg that still continues today is scythe making. Women used to have to spin yarn and weave cloth themselves, but now it was being made in factories, cutting down and exporting its wood to build cities up and down the East Coast, and of course, for making paper. Starting in the 1800s, the population becomes much more diverse. Fitchburg Machine Works expanded widely.
After World War II, Main Street was lively.
Ridiculous.
Hi, welcome back to Discussing Fitchburg Now. Oh, we get some more music. We are up now. We're talking about the Fitchburg Rotary Day of Service. This is actually a Rotary International Day of Service, right? This is happening all across the country or all across the world?
Well, across the country, but in a few other countries in the world too. But,
yep, but largely in the United States.
Yes. Yeah.
So, but the Fitchburg Rotary Club is contributing to the Rotary Day of Service. This is on Saturday, May 20th, and our project is to clean up the Phillip Street Playground.
That's right.
In Fitchburg, at Phillip Street and Westminster Hill Road.
Correct.
Specifically, we are rebuilding the whole huge sandbox, which has been needing repair for many years.
Yeah, it's
correct.
Unfortunately been overgrown with weeds, and it's been a mess for a while, unfortunately. And the woodwork surrounding the sandbox is just not safe for young children anymore, so we're going to be replacing all of that as well.
We're going to be fixing it all. So
Yep.
I am here with the current Fitchburg Rotary Club president, Alex VERA, at my right here, and then the past president, Paul Gauvin.
That's correct.
Thank you for having us, Sam.
Absolutely. Thank you for everything you do for the community.
So, talking about the Day of Service, it's definitely going to be a fun project. There's a lot of steps that get us to having to rebuild this sandbox. where we have an excavation phase, and then we have a building phase, and then the last will be the actual May 20th, which will be filling the sandbox. And we also have partner organizations like Keep Fitchburg Beautiful that are going to be cleaning up the surrounding areas, and we're going to be having a food drive and a diaper drive that's going to go to the Salvation Army to help those people in need.
We're doing all kinds of stuff that day. And the time of this event, what is the time of the event?
It's going to be running from 8 in the morning till noon.
8 to noon, right at the Phillips Street Playground. And this is a Rotary Club project, but this is a Keep Fitchburg Beautiful project and a Salvation Army project, but really, we welcome all volunteers.
That's correct, yes. And that actually, there are actually 2 Rotary clubs in Fitchburg, and we're both going to be working on it. So
Fitchburg East and
going to be
Fitchburg Rotary are both doing the Phillips Street Playground.
Exactly, yep.
Oh, fantastic.
So it gives us a little more manpower, if you will, to do a lot of these things. But it should be a really fun day. And actually, you mentioned the Salvation Army. We're going to be bringing the Salvation Army's canteen there that day.
The canteen truck, where we're going to have some coffee and some snacks and juice
and maybe even a hot dog around noontime. So yeah, it's going to be fun.
Fantastic. And so you want to join the Rotary Club, the Fitchburg Rotary Club and Fitchburg Rotary Club East Rotary Day of Service. That's Saturday, May 20th. 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. You can join in a capacity where you're helping clean up the playground itself and building the sandbox. And you can also join Keep Fitchburg Beautiful, grab a trash bag and some grabbers and some gloves and pick up trash around the neighborhood, because there's always litter that needs to be cleaned up and everywhere.
Yeah,
that's true.
Springtime's the time to do it.
Yeah, that's going to be part of the focus, to clean up the neighborhood as well.
So we're doing the sandbox, which is actually really a huge sandbox. What is it, like 10 feet?
It's 33 feet by 17, as I recall.
Yeah, 17 and a half.
Yeah,
wow.
17 and a half.
That is a huge sandbox.
It's a good size, yep. And it's got a couple of these things. I call them dig digs. I'm not sure.
Grabby
yeah,
things.
you sit in them
the
and they scoop up the sand. And those are there. There's nothing to scoop anymore. That's the problem.
It's like overgrown with weeds and dirt, and it's not sandy anymore.
No, right. But it will be
the sides are falling, and they're getting kind of dangerous.
Yes, yeah. No, we're going to take them off of the stands that they're on and rehab them, make sure that they're all functioning properly, repaint them, and get them ready to go.
And the playground itself, there is other things that need to get done, like the bench. The bench at the basketball court.
What a sad bench
that is. Such a sad bench.
So, and I'm glad you mentioned that, Sam, because I was going to say there's no basketball nets on the basketball hoops. So if anyone wants to donate some basketball nets, we'll be willing to install them.
Do the rims themselves support a net?
Oh, sure.
Or should we zip tie them?
They do support a net. I mean, I don't see why you couldn't zip tie them as well.
I mean, if we have to.
Well, most nets have a proper apparatus, so you put the nets and hook them in.
The things.
The little hooks,
Little thingies, that's it.
So, but the bench there is literally, if you haven't seen it, I advise you to go take a trip to the Phillips Street Playground and see the bench. The problem is that when it rains, it makes a huge puddle. It looks like a pond.
You were saying
right around that bench, and so it's so rusted. It's like half of it is like in, and so no one uses it anymore. And unfortunately, and there is a Luck house across the street. And there's a lot of kids in the neighborhood that use that playground a lot, and they use the basketball court, and so it will be good to get those things repaired. So we only have planned to do the sandbox for now, but if there are other
anyone
either
else
organizations
that's
or
that
anyone
help out with the bench or other things,
right.
And some of the fence needs to be repaired. We're getting an estimate for that, and if we can cover part of it, we're going to try to. We're hoping the company might be willing to give us a break on the cost, because we're trying to help the playground. So we'll see what happens.
That would be lovely and very generous.
Yes.
Yeah. So, the Fitchburg Rotary Club and the Fitchburg Rotary East, Montechusett Rotary Club, they do the Leominster Rotary Club. They're all participating in the Rotary Day of Service, and they all generally participate in service-related, activities.
Yes.
As Rotary is a service organization, right?
Definitely. And Leominster's got their own little project going on. I don't remember what they're working on. Do you?
So they're cleaning up and landscaping the Congregational Church that I believe is on Main Street at the Upper Common there in Leominster. So they're going to be planting new plants and doing some landscaping. And so I believe if you go to the website, I don't know it off the top of my head. I think
I'm sure they have a Facebook page. Johnny
yes, there is.
Ahern
Right,
is the president.
exactly.
He's real good
Oh,
with
yeah, and if you Google Leominster
media.
Rotary, you'll get to
Leominster
what you need
Rotary
to.
Club.
Right.
Yeah,
Or
you'll find what they're
or
doing.
if you Google Rotary Day of Service,
That's true,
and then 7910 is our district.
Yep.
You can see all the projects that are going on in this state and across the country. If you're, somewhere else, then you want to get involved.
Caitlin, can we put up the Rotary Day of Service graphic up on the screen so people have a visual representation of what we're talking about? Yeah, can we
there
put
it
that
is.
up on the main screen? So this is, the Rotary is an international organization. Fitchburg has 3 clubs itself, including the Fitchburg Rotary Club. This is on May 20th, where all the Rotary clubs are participating. You can see here Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Bermuda, New
Yeah.
York, and New Jersey, and right in the middle, the best one, Fitchburg,
There you
where
go.
we'll be doing the Phillip Street Playground,
That's
which,
it.
the DPW and the Parks Department are fully in support and are assisting us as well.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yep.
they're a big part of putting this all together. And actually, the city of Fitchburg, through the DPW, is providing all the sand to refill the sandbox.
Ah, that's
So,
helpful, because
I don't know how many yards of sand, but there's a lot.
17 foot by 33 foot is a lot of sand.
Yes, it is.
So it's going to be great. And we're going to be putting one of those membranes on the bottom once we excavate everything
to
out.
avoid
so
the
things
things
won't
growing.
be growing back in the future.
We're
That's
doing
the
it
goal.
right.
That's
Correct.
the goal, yes.
Yeah, we had a landscape expert
Yes,
come
we
and
did.
check it
That's
out.
right.
Yep.
Yep. And we walked, the other day, myself,
Yes.
Paul, and him, and we made a solid plan on what actually needs to get done, how to do it. So
What we need to buy.
what we need to buy, all of that. So
Yep.
we're feeling good. We also talked to a few neighbors in the area
Yes,
that stopped by, let us know their concerns,
Yep.
and they said that they'll be helping out as well that day. So
Great outreach.
absolutely.
Yep. So it's just a matter of getting back into the community and letting them be involved. So that's a big part of it, too.
It's great to do nice big projects that are visible, and at the end of the day, we accomplish something really great.
Yeah, and there's actually a sign there that says that this space is donated
It's
by?
Adopt a Park.
Yes. So we were going to try to put our Rotary sign up there so people will know that we did all this work and that we're very proud of what we've done.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah,
Yeah.
James Bunnell is our new Parks and Recreation Director, and he is reinvigorating the Adopt a Park
That's true.
program.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yes, I know that I said, well, let Fitchburg, the Friends of Fitchburg Dogs want to adopt the dog park.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
well, that makes sense.
It does. It does make sense. So you can actually adopt a park in the city of Fitchburg if you are, if you're willing to do the maintenance
That's
and
right.
organize the cleanups and whatever needs to get done.
Right.
The city of Fitchburg welcomes that. You want to reach out to the city of Fitchburg Parks and Recreation Department. It's Fitchburg MA Recreation Department on Facebook.
Google it.
Yeah, and so what a lot of people don't realize is that there's 52 playgrounds and parks in Fitchburg. That's a lot of parks, and the DPW is in charge of maintaining them all. And with everything else that they have to maintain around the city, it's a lot. So
We have a severe lack of funding for the DPW, and we have a real problem with like everyone else, getting people to fulfill the jobs that are required to get these things completed.
Yeah, it's
so, we rely, like most municipalities, on volunteers, and
Absolutely.
we're here to do what we need to do to get it done for the community.
Right. We're starting with this park, and our plans are to try to do more as we go along throughout the succeeding years. So this is our first one, and hopefully it'll be a stepping stone to more.
52 years from now, we'll have got all the parks.
Oh, good.
52 years.
Two
I'll
a
be
year. We could do
83 years
two
old.
a year. Okay, we could have
Jesus.
26 years. We could have it done.
I'll
In
be
two a year.
105.
By that time, we'll all
No,
be living
excuse me,
great.
I'll be more than that.
You'll be what, 29 again?
I'll be probably 49 again.
Oh,
Okay.
good.
Nice.
All right, guys, thank you so much. Is there any last thing we want to make sure that we let everyone know about?
Well, we want to make sure we thank you for getting us on the air tonight and letting
Absolutely.
us tell our story. And again, it's going to be on Saturday, the 20th of May, at the Phillip Street Playground, which is at the junction of Westminster Hill Road and Phillip Street. And it's going to be there from 8 o'clock until noon. If you can't get there at 10, that's okay. Come on down. We'll give you something to do.
Anytime, as
Yep.
much time as you can do. Every hand can make a huge difference.
Amen.
Yeah, right. And I just want to add one last thing. If you can't join us for this project, there's a lot of other projects that are going on throughout the years. And so if you go to Rotary 7910.org and just search Fitchburg, you can see everything we've done in the past and what we're going to do in the future.
And you can check out our Facebook page, Fitchburg Rotary,
Yep.
on
correct.
Facebook.
Yeah,
Right.
that's looking good too.
All right, great. Thank you for watching. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be talking about the Lowe Park Chalk Art Festival. That's also coming up in May. Hi, Sam Squally here with Shara Osgood.
Hi.
And we are talking about the Lowe Park Chalk Art Festival that's happening Saturday, May 13th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m.
That's right. It's going to be a wonderful day for everyone to get out and be together in Lowe Park. We're going to be doing chalk art on the basketball court. There's going to be all kinds of entertainment and all kinds of resources that we're going to share. It's going to be really fun. I hope everybody will come out.
And people can sign up to do a piece of the chalk art that's going to be on the basketball court surface, right?
That's right. If you go to the Facebook event page for Lowe Park Chalk Art Festival or find the flyers that'll be all over town, there's QR codes and a link. You can go and sign up as a pro artist or as a group, a family, anybody who wants to come do chalk art.
So there's different levels.
Yeah, there's different levels. The pro artists are people who are experienced artists, and they will have larger squares to work in. They'll be submitting artwork. Our theme is community, connection, and resilience. And we're bringing all kinds of resources together. Everybody will get gift cards and various different things. We're still working on it now, but if you're interested in more information and you're not on Facebook, you can go and email loweparkchalkart@gmail.com and ask questions.
And there are going to be food trucks. It's going to be a whole day-long thing, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, May 13th at Lowe Park, which is on Elm Street, right in front of the Fitchburg Art Museum.
Right, it's just across the street from the Art Museum and the Sundial housing. And there's a playground there, and there's community gardens. There's all kinds of things to do. It'll be a really fun day.
Sounds like a good time. All right, so email, what do we email again?
loweparkchalkart@gmail.com.
To find out more information, or go on Facebook to the Lowe Park Chalk Art Festival. And you'll find the event, and you'll find all the information, and you can learn to sign up, or you can just show up on Saturday, May 13th. All right?
That's right, yes.
And it's funded by the Fitchburg Cultural Council.
The Fitchburg Cultural Council. We also got funding from New View Communities, In Town Fitchburg. All kinds of organizations have been supporting us.
Like the Fitchburg Cultural Alliance.
The Fitchburg Cultural Alliance, yes.
All the art places.
Exactly.
All right, so we will see you there Saturday, May 13th, 2023 from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Lowe Park.
Come on down.
All right, thanks for watching Discussing Fitchburg Now. That was our Lowe Park Chalk Art Festival promo that we shot about a month ago, right, Shara?
It was about a month ago.
Yeah, and so I wanted to play that first so that we could also get the updates on all the new things that we now know about what's happening for the Chalk Art Festival, which is Saturday, May 13th at Lowe Park.
Right, I just want to say that our rain date is May 20th, though we're not going to need that because we're going to have beautiful weather and we're all going to be there on the 13th.
Okay, but if there is a rain date called, where should people go to check that?
They should go to the Facebook event page, Lowe Park Chalk Art Festival, or I'm not sure where there's got to be somewhere we can actually post that. So I'm going to think about that.
Can we let you know? Can you do a little
Oh, I
update
will
of it?
certainly be happy to share it
Okay.
on my Sam Squalia City Councilor at Large Facebook page and wherever, and Discussing Fitchburg Now.
Discussing
Facebook
Fitchburg
group.
Now.
We're all
we'll
set
share it
then.
around.
We're all
All
set
of those
then.
Yeah, just check the Facebook. You got to get on the Facebook to
Always
know
check
the
the
things.
Facebook, right?
So we have Shara Osgood. She is the event coordinator for the Lowe Park Chalk Art Festival, and we have Beth Robbins, who is the entertainment coordinator
Yes.
for the Chalk Art Festival.
Yep.
All right, so now we get an update on what the entertainment is. We know more about the food trucks. We know more about
Right.
what the chalk artists are doing. Why don't we get into that?
We are, we still have some space for signups, but we have a bunch of professional artists who are going to come in and do 5-foot squares of art that they've had concepts and designs. We have groups that are coming in. It's families, it's different organizations. It's a great team building thing. If you're interested in being a part of that, you can, there's flyers all over town. You can go to, the link is long, but if you go to the Facebook event page at Lowe Park Chalk Art Festival, the links are all there. They're also on Discussing Fitchburg Now. They're, to do a group square, you just need to sign up and commit. There's a Google Doc form sign up. It's pretty easy. It has a few questions about the community because we're trying to resource information about what people want to see happening in the park as it gets renovated in the future and things are built up.
So we have professional chalk artists that are
Right.
going to come in, and then there's also some amateur
Right.
chalk art opportunity.
Everybody has done chalk art at some point in their lives, and we have spaces for kids to do chalk art, which we're trying to do through the schools, but anybody who's interested can sign up as long as they have an adult sign up with them. And then we have the group squares are 3-foot squares, the kid squares are 2-foot squares. So, there's different sizes, different commitments. We're providing chalk and kneeling pads and all kinds of other great stuff. There's cash awards for the pro artists. There's gift cards for all the participants.
Ooh.
Everywhere, there's gift cards from $25 gift cards to Market Basket to $100 gift card to Target. There's art supply gift cards for Blick Art Supplies. There's just so many different things. There's Finicky Fork has given us a bunch of $50 gift cards for their catering services and their new place that's opening up, Popper's Pantry, that's opening up on Main Street.
And what do we have for food trucks and entertainment?
Do you remember? So we have one truck that's called Figs Foods that is Portuguese food. And then we have another one that is Sabrosa Venezuela. And they're local out of Fitchburg.
They were at our Dog Park Festival last year.
Yeah, their
They're
food's
good.
yummy. Yeah. And we're still waiting to hear from Frosty Flyers if they're
See if
coming.
we get some free ice cream.
Right.
Right, because
So-
it's going to be hot and sunny and
It's gonna be a
beautiful.
beautiful
Yes.
day.
She's
and
already talked to Mother Nature. Things are all set up for a good
we
day.
hope.
Yeah.
She can be.
Caitlin, can we put up one more time on the main screen the graphic that shows the date and the time and everything? Yeah, can we put that one up on the main screen?
Oh, sweet.
So the Lowe Park Chalk Art Festival, this is the first of its kind here
Hopefully
in
not the last,
Fitchburg.
though. We're hoping it's going to be an annual thing.
And it starts at 11 a.m. It goes all the way to 5 p.m. You can email lowparkchalkart@gmail.com for more information, or you can go to the Facebook event page because if you're on Facebook, everything's happening.
Right, but there's still people who aren't on Facebook. My husband is one of them.
Oh. Yeah. That's
So-
why you get the wife.
Right, because I tell him everything that's happening.
Yep. So, and do we have music?
Yes, so the music piece is interesting. What I love about this event and about Shara's art in general is that she uses it as a way to bring people together, like she did with the mural down on Boulder Drive. And so I was really excited to be part of it. And so we're bringing together the open mic community from going on for 20 years, from the gardening area, hopefully from the Slater's open mic that we have down in Bolton. Super talented musicians that don't necessarily know how to market themselves or aren't out playing professional gigs, but are still very talented and very committed to local music. So we're bringing them together. So it's not going to be conventional. People can sign up for slots, 15-minute slots, if they want to read poetry, or they want to, they want to just do a quick set.
And where do they sign up to be for a slot for the open mic?
So if they want a slot, they can write the email, the same email that you just mentioned.
LoweParkChuckArt@gmail.com.
Yeah.
You got it.
So we're already going to have Ukulele J, a lot of the people that are trying to really get out there and get their work known and the talent seen. So it should be fun.
And so anytime you come to the park between 11 a.m. and 5 p.m., you'll have a different artist
Yes.
to listen to.
It's
That's
going to
cool.
start out with an African drum troupe.
Oh, cool.
That is, they
drums?
Yeah, they'll be drumming
Yeah,
and performing,
cool.
and they'll play. And then I believe at like 1 o'clock we're starting with the open mic.
So it'll be 1 to 5.
So there'll be
4:30.
probably music all day.
That sounds really great.
Yeah.
There'll be art, there'll be music, there'll be food. Is there anything else we need?
No, there's nothing else.
And
Is there?
we're talking with
Friends?
some seniors from the Sundial to possibly come and do a story share with the kids about what Fitchburg was like when they were young and what the park was like and their memories of the park, and just to be able to like pass stories on and pass the history on and understand about like what the park means to people.
Yeah, and you can get a little inside information as to what happened in Fitchburg, so you can tell all
kind
your
of try to
friends.
create a sense of place for Lowe Park where there really isn't one as of yet. So kind of, just trying to cement, as Cher's been working on this for a couple of years now, just trying to cement that sense of place around Lowe Park and bring more attention to the park, which of course is
Well, keep
something
Fitchburg
I'm
beautiful,
passionate
cleaned
about.
up. We had 2 volunteers cleaning up for 3 hours
Awesome.
today.
Yay.
At Lowe
Cleaning
Park?
up Lowe Park.
Really?
So it's
Oh.
almost perfectly clean.
Awesome.
All right, so we're getting there.
Thank
And
you.
It's a good community effort.
Yep.
Getting everything done.
Part of it is about also like everybody coming together, and it's not just about the park, but about the community feeling like they have a place and like they can connect with each other and strengthen those ties and make connections with other people within the community, both locally and regionally. It's creating a lot of resources. We've been really blessed. We've had a lot of sponsorship, and the Cultural Council and the Cultural Alliance have both contributed, as well as the Fitch State University, in town Fitchburg. Am I forgetting anybody? I feel like
You said it all in the PSA too before.
Right.
All those
I know.
We're double dipping there, but we're very grateful because
TD Banks Charitable Foundation has also given us a chunk of money. So we've been able to do things the way we want to do them and be able to give a lot back to the community.
Well, one of the things I love about the way the money's being used as well is there's an acknowledgement that artists need to be paid, and musicians and artists. They're not expected to do anything necessarily for free,
For
like
exposure?
we see, just for
Right.
exposure. Like Cher's just made sure that she's made the provision there that they'll get paid. It might not be $1 gazillion, but the acknowledgement in money.
It takes
rather
a
than-
lot of work to get this
The lead-
done, so
The lead
thank
team,
you.
the professional artists, the people who are volunteering, 4, 6, 8, 10 hours of their time to help it happen. There's still some volunteerism, people coming and helping set up the tents and things the night before. All of those things.
All right, in our last 20 seconds, is there a last thing we want to make sure to mention? Saturday, May 13th, rain date, Saturday, May 20th.
Sign up, come do some chalk art, come do some music, be a part of it.
Or just come and check it out.
Show up.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
And it'll be a great way
we'll be
for
there.
folks to network with each other too, organizations and musicians and stuff like that. So it'll be exciting. It'll be a fun event.
All right, great. Well, we'll see you there on Saturday, May 13th. Thanks for watching Discussing Fitchburg Now. We'll see you at the next time.
See you the next time.